What's up, nerds? My name is Jeremy Akers, Jeremy Nathaniel Akers, and I want to talk to you about my favorite liberating structure of all time, drawing together. Now, drawing together, what makes drawing together so incredibly awesome is that it helps us lean into the vibe of fewer words. Words are awesome. I love words. I mean, Jesus Christ, I love talking and hearing myself so much. I made these videos of me just talking and hearing myself. My point is, words are incredible, and yet fewer words can be a great thing because they can help us get to this space of generative ambiguity. We can intentionally open up spaces for misinterpretation that is better than or adds to our intended message. And that's why drawing together is great, because it helps us embrace all of the communication that is nonverbal in a way that is still very approachable and accessible to a lot of people. So how are we going to do it? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to invite everybody to grab something to draw with. Grab some pen and paper, markers, crayons, whatever you've got available. Colors are good. Full-size A4, A3, and greater than pieces of paper are great. Notebooks, fair game, etc. Once we've given everybody a moment to gather their materials, we're going to invite folks to, one at a time, to just start off with drawing a circle, right? Everybody knows what a circle looks like. Draw a circle. And then once everybody's drawn their circle, draw a square. And then once everybody's drawn their square, draw a triangle, and then a star person, and then a spiral. There's a particular reason I invite people to just draw these things rather than show them the shapes. And that's because, everybody knows what these things fucking look like. Maybe with the exception of the star person. Like, that sometimes requires a little explanation. But, again, we're looking for this generative ambiguity. So I'm already trying to stimulate that. Once I've gone through all of this list, once everybody's got these 5 symbols, I'm going to invite them to label them. So the symbol for circle equals wholeness. The symbol of a square equals support. The symbol of the triangle equals goals. The symbol of that star person equals relationship. And the symbol of the spiral equals change. And then I explain that we have now created the key of our visual design language. So we are just going to use these 5 symbols, repeat them as many times as you want, as big as you want, as small as you want, however you want. But we're going to use just those 5 visual symbols to draw our answer to the following question. Now, what is the question? It's up to you, right? Whoever suggests this thing, whatever the topic du jour is, you get to pick the question. But use just those 5 symbols to answer the question. And then what we do is we give everybody solo time to think silently or draw silently, and just give them 5 minutes to draw their answer to the question. Some people will fly through this 5 minutes and feel like they're done super quick. Other people will take all of this 5 minutes and will have just gotten started. Nevertheless, we want to give them, once that 5-minute time box is expired, we want to give them another set of 5 minutes and invite them to add more detail, color, depth, or richness to their drawing. Just continue to expand it and to refine it. So 5 more minutes goes on the clock to give everybody more time to spend communicating in this visual design language. Once those 2 boxes of 5 minutes are expired, we're going to invite folks to pair up, find a partner, and take 10 more minutes on the clock. And the procedure of pairing up is pretty important. What I want to do is I want to show you my drawing, and I want to let you interpret my drawing before I say any goddamn thing about it, right? So I just hold up my drawing and I keep my motherfucking mouth shut while you tell me what you think my drawing means, what I intended in my drawing. And what I'm going to find out is that you're going to add all types of interpretation and projection and goodness in there, some of which is going to be not at all what I meant, but might vibe and be so resonant with what I meant that it might be even more of what I meant than what I meant, right? And after I've heard that interpretation, I might clarify and go, well, what I intended when I drew it is WXYZ. This portion that you added on totally fits the vibe, though. Thank you so much for that added piece of nuance. And then we'll switch roles. I will interpret my partner's drawing before they go on to explain it. And in doing so, we will have done that generative ambiguity thing together. After this one-on-one time of interpretation, we'll pair up into a group of 4, and we'll do the compare, contrast, and look for patterns thing, right? Just in another 10 minutes. So over the course of 30 minutes, we will have all had a pretty decent amount of time to sort of gather our thoughts and try to express ourselves, to do the generative interpretation thing, and to notice what happens across a little bit of a larger group of some of those interpretations. Very often, though, if you're familiar with liberating structures, you'll know that the pattern is this 1, 2, 4, all. And there's a whole bunch of ways that you can do this all space thing to cross-pollinate across these different groups of 4. You can, of course, just say, bring everybody together in one large circle and say, all right, 10 minutes on the clock. What's the stuff that's so juicy that you think, yeah, this we want to share with everybody? What are the things that kept coming up in all of your conversations? Or what are the unique perspectives that you only saw in this one drawing that you think is noteworthy and want to elevate? Totally fair game. 10 minutes on the clock in that all space will get the job done. Or you can take way more time and you can explore something like shift and share, or a gallery walk, or a mind meld. Now, shift and share, I don't want to get into, it's too much to it, too many moving parts to explain, but a gallery walk is real simple. You just invite everybody to sort of tape their drawing up on the wall. Everybody has responded to the same question. They all know what the visual symbols mean. So tape all of the drawings up on a wall and just pretend like it's an art gallery. Be quiet, walk around, observe all of the drawings, maybe, take some notes, leave some Post-its up on these things, and, just interpret and experience all of the diversity that happened in that group. You could do that in, 30 minutes. You could do that in an hour. It depends on how big your group is. But, give yourself some opportunity to experience all of these things, all of the diversity that came up. A mind meld, totally different vibe. We imagine we have all of these diverse and different drawings. How cool would it be to sort of meld them and merge them into one large drawing, to figure out what the relationships across some of these drawings are? Those of you who are familiar and fans of affinity mapping, think about clustering these drawings together to get a feel for, hey, these are the vibes, and these are exactly how resonant these vibes are, interpreted in all of these different ways. So take some time to bring these things into relationship with each other, and maybe go absolutely apeshit and put together a large canvas and just start on one canvas as well. My point is, it's cool, and you can take a lot of time to engage in this type of generative ambiguity. So these are some instances of drawing together that I've gathered over the course of the years. This question was around, our exploration of profound transformation or shallow change. We invited people to draw either a struggle, some form of inspiration, or a success related to this topic of profound transformation and shallow change. And this individual just said, "Hey, I will make you 3 different drawings of success, inspiration, and struggle around these things." Whereas this person, said, "Hey, no, this is my meta drawing. And we've got a couple different drawings here, and we've got a lot going on from whoever this jackass was." That's mine. That's why I'm not a jackass. Well, maybe I am. Never mind. But as you can see, when it comes to just this one prompt, we've got a lot of different vibes going on here, but we've got a lot of resonance as well. We notice that, of course, change is sort of in our topic. So we see a lot of these big spirals popping off, but we see spirals inside of spirals. We see central spirals and different type of spirals, right? We've got many different interpretations and answers to this question that we can all take a lot of time and go, "Hey, there's a lot of support and a lot of goals going on here, but if I notice there's a macro structure, this is support. Goals and support are a form of support, right? We can make the feeling before, okay, so what is the way in which, this goal, where relationships and support are in there, it really intersects this wholeness here. And at that point of intersect, there is like a ripple. There is some form of change that happens there. So I don't want to go through each and every one of these, but you can pause the goddamn video and check them out at your leisure, right? Some of these things go a little apeshit, and that's fun too. Pandemic vibes. And you can be as concrete and, as abstract as you want. This was a gathering. This set of drawings I did at a gathering, just sort of like afterglow of a conference. We were just hanging out and vibing the vibe. And look, let's play a game. What do you want to give people? Let's draw our answers together. And this was a similar type of vibe, in response to this question: how do I know I love someone? These are our visual interpretations, our answers to that question of how do we know we love someone? And, A, interesting question, B, interesting process to unpack that question. For sure, we could have just answered this question in 1 minute per person, but by taking the time to draw these answers, A, we have ourselves a durable artifact that sort of reflect our answers to these very significant questions at a point in time. And B, it's just nice to draw together, man. It's just so cool. It's such a good vibe where, we can just be quiet and sort of doodle and be making something and have some nice banter. And then the vibe that you get as you share these things with one another and interpret them is just super. There's a lot to be said about how to create great questions. There's long lists of really great, interesting questions out there on the internet. My pro tip is figure out what the content, the topic that you want to set as central, and then open up 3 different avenues around that topic. So when it came to, when it came to change, what struggles, inspiration, and successes, came to mind. Very simple. When it comes to change, what struggles, inspiration, and successes come to mind? Bam, that's a great question. Invite folks to draw together on that. You will rip it up. At any rate, my name is Jeremy. This has been a Wise Crowds production. Drawing together is one of my favorite liberating structures. Why don't you go fucking try it out? Let me know how it goes. Kisses.